Good morning, Jackie. So good to see you. Starting a couple minutes early just to make sure everything's working. If you hear volume, let me know, but it says it's working, so this is a good thing. Good morning, Neil. So good to see you. Just testing the equipment, making sure everything's working again. I'm still having trouble with that. No. Okay. No video input. Good morning, Susan. So good to see you. Oh, I'm good. I'm glad audio is good. I am still making sure my video is working. We'll start here soon. I don't know why. Batteries. Yeah, it's saying no video input on my second camera, which is what we use for our tours. Um, so I'm not sure why that's not working. Give me 1 second. We'll get started here. Input. Good morning, Tani. So good to see you. Just making sure all the equipment works. It seems my main camera, my microphone, the software is working, the internet's working. What I don't have is my secondary camera that allows me to do our tours. Yeah. Still saying no video input. No video input. I'm gonna try one more thing. Okay, it looks like I have the webcam or the secondary cam on. Good. Yes, happy birthday to my brother. Um, okay. Hello, Reverend Robert Ugin Doshin Yamada here. Uh, and welcome to the Animal Liberation Temple, Dobutsu Kaioji, where we are at the service of the spiritual and physical liberation of our dear animal friends. We'd like to begin by acknowledging that the land on which we gather is the ancestral and seized land of the Yokuts, Kharkin, Confederate villages of the Lishan, Ohlone, Miwok, and Miwok-Ma people. We recognize them, the legacy of violence, settlement, and the displacement of those people who suffered and survived. Temple updates. It has been a very sunny, nice week, although today is very cloudy and very cold. Hence, I'm wearing my hat this morning because it's very, very cold. Um, Things are moving along. We had a volunteer yesterday, um, which helped out a lot, but throughout the week we have been a little low on volunteers, but that's okay. We're keeping up with everything. Everything's going really well. Um, we are sad to report that Spreckles, one of our foster duck friends, has passed away. She received services and ordination as a holy nun in the Animal Liberation Temple, as well as one of our tortoises, Tommy, passed away. Um, we believe, because of our advice from our vets, that the tortoises may have been born with a genetic abnormality that caused them to live not as long as life as expected, and that it is a product of the pet trade, often to maximize profits. The tortoises in the pet trade are often inbred, which causes a lot of health issues. So, unfortunately, both Toshi and Tommy passed away. Miyachi is still surviving and is still here, and doing well. He's eating and exploring and enjoying his home. On better news, we do have a new resident, Casper, which you may have seen in the photo this morning, on our thumbnail for this video. That's Casper the goat. He's doing really well. He's came from down the hill. He was adopted by One Living Sanctuary and was meant to integrate with the rest of the goats down the hill. In fact, we have our 3 goats down the hill that integrated really well. However, Casper had a lot of trouble integrating with the other goats. He wouldn't go up the hill with them and graze. He, kind of stayed to himself, was real timid. And we didn't want to give up on Casper, and we wanted to make sure that he still got a good home. And he's really enjoying the walks with me. He seems to be really human friendly, just really shy around other goats, and it may be because he's really timid and not into the roughhouse play that some of the other goats that are into. So I think that the temple is a perfect home for somebody like that. So today we'll meet Casper, our goat friend. Yes, absolutely true. Dr. Rebecca Gooley, the exotic pet trade is absolutely awful and causes so much harm. But we will continue on with the updates of our residents here. We have our duck friends, Breve, Grave, Amanda, and Renee, who are all doing really well. Our dogs friends, Lucy and Bernard, are doing really well. Bernard's starting to put on a lot of weight, and so we got to keep an eye on that, make sure he stays healthy. But he's full of energy, and he went on our walk with Casper yesterday and really enjoyed that walk. Our goat friends down the hill, Rob, Matt, and Phil, are doing really well. Our Tortoise friend Miyachi, of course, is doing really well. Our turkey friends Pri and Harriet are doing phenomenal. And then we have all of our Cornish chickens, who are Jax, Jimmy, and Edward the roosters. And then we have Poppy, Aster, Ivy, Azalea, Peony, Cynthia, Lotus, Magnolia, Sage, Marigold, Camilla, Hydrangea, Holly, and Zinnia, all of them doing really well. And then our 3 red hens, Glennis, Gwen, and Alice, also doing phenomenal. And then all of our other rooster friends, Sabrina, May, Hard One, Elton, Magnus, George, Brad, and Kuru, all doing well. Then we have our guinea friend, Wendy, also doing well. Our mourning dove friend in the house, Sequoia, is doing well. Hasu, the rat friend, is doing well. And then we have our 39 pigeons. FP, Champagne, Tulin, Sasha, Yo-Yo, Petey, Ricky, Sparkle, Spencer, Shambles, Beluga, Beth, Pee-wee, Cascade, Augustus, Rufus, Harper, Elliot, Snickers, Boba, Kismet, Farah, Angus, Pandora, Jones, Sin, Harriet, Lago, Fred, Chamanto, Halo, Vin, Capone, Percy, Pacino, Lacey, Sasha the Second, and Dora. And those are all of our pigeon friends. And then, of course, we have our 3 foster ducks, who are all doing really well. They're all doing really well, despite the cold weather today. But like I said, this whole past week's been really warm, and they've really been enjoying the sunshine. And I think yesterday the ducks were splashing in their pond and making a bunch of noise, and we love to hear the sound of them playing. Let us continue on with the prayers, sutras, and vows to our dear animal friends. These prayers are of great auspicious benefit to all who hear these prayers. We ask that you have your companion animals nearby or in a place where our wild animal friends can hear those prayers intended for them, even our dear insect friends. We'll start on page 4 with the recitation of the Great Heart of Wisdom Sutra in Japanese. Maka hanya haramita shengyo kanji zai bosatsu gyojin hanya haramita jiso kengo ungai kodo isai kuyaku sharishi shiki fuku kufui shiki shiki zoku ze shiki juso gyo shiki yaku bunyo ze shari shi ze sho kuso fusho fumetsu fuku fujo fuzo fugen ze koku chumushi shiki muju shuzo gyo shiki mugen gini bizetshin ni mo shiki shoko mi soku ho mugen gai nai shi mui shiki gai mu mu myo yaku mu mu myo jin nai shi mu ro shi yaku mu ro shi jin mu ku shu metsu do mu shi yaku mu toko i mu so toko bo dai sa dai hanya haramita koshin mukege mukege komu kufun riyese tendo muso kugyo nehan sanze shobutsu e hanya haramita kotoku wa nokudara sanmyaku sanbodai kochi hanya haramita zedai shinshu zedai myoshu ze mujo shu ze muto do 곁에 하루 곁에 하루 소 곁에 보지서와 한야 신교 내구와구와 고노쿠도고 못해 아마네구 이사이니 오요보시 와레라 토시자 토미나 토모니 부츠도 조젠 곧도 지호산시 포시선 모사 포시선 모사 먹고사 먹고 호자 허로 미 We'll now recite the Refuge Prayer in Tibetan and in English, page 8 of the Animal Liberation Temple Prayer Book. Sangye chodan tsuki chonam la janju paiduk dakdi gyepsu chi daki jinso kipe sonam ki jola pender sangye chu parsho. The Buddha, Dharma, and excellent assembly of the Sangha. Until I attain enlightenment in these I take refuge. By my practice of the six perfections may all sentient beings attain the state of Buddhahood. We now recite the four great Bodhisattva vows, Shigi Seigan. Shujo Muhen Segando Bono Mujen Segandan Omon Murya Seganga Botsuda Mujo Seganjo. However numerous sentient beings, I vow to enlighten them all. However inexhaustible my delusions, I vow to extinguish them all. However immeasurable the dharmas, I vow to master them all. However endlessly enlightened way, I vow to follow it fully. We now recite the 6 vows to our dear animal friends. However numerous my dear animal friends, I vow to liberate them all. However diverse the methods of animal liberation, I vow to support them all. However unheard their voices, I vow to speak out for them all. However painful and inexhaustible the methods of suffering, I vow to bear witness to them all. However infinite the cages and tanks, I vow to empty them all. However difficult animal liberation, I vow to achieve it completely. And we now recite the Vajrasattva Purification Mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Anupalaya Vajrasattva Te Nopachisa Dome Bhava Sutta Shome Bhava Supa Shome Bhava Anorato Me Bhava Sava Sita Me Priyata Sava Karma Sita Me Chicham Shri Yam Guru Hom Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sava Tata Gata Vajrama Me Mucha Vajri Bhava Mahasamamya Safaha. Last week we had a lot of technical difficulties. I was unable to broadcast, but the week before that, I was in a hurry to get off to run some errands. However, I did leave everybody with a question about what is morality? What does morality mean to you specifically? Where do we get our morality? Where does it come from? And then thirdly, the third question was, how do we practice? How do we put into practice our morality? So hopefully people have used the last 2 weeks to give this some careful thought. And I wanted to talk about this week, this particular topic, because it had come up with some discussions with some friends, and it made me rethink morality. And some of my ideas doesn't actually come from myself specifically, or from Buddhism specifically, but comes from ecofeminism. Um, this idea of what is morality and these kind of questions that we should be asking ourselves. So these are not completely my ideas, but thinking about them and pondering them and meditating on them, I do see how they are applicable to Buddhism. So I want to first talk about the first question, which is what is what is morality? And so I think that when we contemplate that question, morality seems to be a set of rules or guidelines that we live our lives to, that would be our ethical standards of how we move about life and move about the world. What kind of ethical standards do we have towards other human beings, and what are our ethical standards towards non-human animals? What are our ethical standards towards the environment, and what are our ethical standards towards how we interact with this entire world? And so this is where we start to think about what our morality is it might be connected to what our ethical standards are and how we, what we believe in. And the second question was like, where does our morality come from? And there's an argument that says that morality is universal, or the universe bends towards good. There's an argument that our morality is bestowed upon us by a greater being. There's an argument that morality is a product of evolution, and is simply the human species survives in its fitness by cooperating and working with others, and working within our environment. This is why we're able to survive, is because of this moral standard that we had developed through evolution, and have, and practice it that way. There's an argument that says, morality is cultural. So like your morality may come from what particular culture that you're involved in. When it could be dependent on where you're born. It could be dependent on how you were raised. Maybe morality comes from our parents. It's an argument that's made that our parents teach us how to be moral. There's an argument that says that our morality is developed from our religious upbringing, what our pastor may say to us, what our religious studies might be. That might be guiding our morality. And I think when we investigate this idea, I think that we shouldn't. We should be considerate of the system surrounding our morality and where that might come from. And so, when I think about this, I think about the majority of even Buddhist teachers are male teachers. The majority of most religious teachers are male teachers. Our politicians, our society is very patriarchal. And so therefore sometimes we have to look with a skeptic eye that our morality might just come from other men in power. And does that mean that it is the best ethics that we could be practicing? Is it the best morality? And I think these are good questions to ask ourselves if we do recognize the issues with the patriarchy. We do see wars continuing to move forward, often perpetrated by other men. We see, a lot of crime and violence committed by majority men. And then, we have a long history of men led wars and violence. And so we have to ask ourselves, are we picking the right place to choose our morality? And these are very, difficult questions to be able to like question ourselves and where our morality comes from. Even if morality comes from a place of like evolution, is it just because it is what is the most fitness and enabled our survival? Is it the best that we could be doing? And then the third question that I asked folks was, where does morality come, or I'm sorry, how do we practice our morality? And often this leads into this idea of like our morals are passed down. Let's say it comes from Christianity and the Bible, and there's a list of 10 commandments, and most of them are don't do these things. And often our morality, if our morality comes from our legal standpoint, our legal framework, then it is, here's a list of things to don't do. And I've made this argument before about even veganism is this morality of don't do these things, don't do these harms to animals, don't eat animals, don't wear animals, don't participate in things that are adding to the exploitation of animals. And so there's a list of morality seems to be centered around the things that we forbid ourselves from doing, that we don't do. And I've made this argument before that if we had this long laundry list of what we don't do, what's left? Then what do we do? And so this is where I like to think about this final question as maybe we should be rethinking morality as this idea of care, right? So when we talk about environmental care, animal care, our care for our neighbors, the care for our children, the care that we have for our spouse, the care that we have for our friends and family. And when we think about the word care, it provokes this idea of what we're actually doing, right? What we are, the actions that we take to show care, to provide care. When I talk about in the morning we have to do morning animal care, that means I get up and I check on everybody. I physically go out there and I look at all the animals and I make sure that they're looking good and healthy and happy, and I'm going out there and providing them with food and making sure that their waters are clean and some poops are picked up, and these are the actions that I'm taking, and this is all part of animal care. And is it animal morality? Sort of, kind of, not really. I'm not going out there kicking them. I'm not harming them. All the things that I'm not doing, right? And so maybe morality is just this list of commands and this list of demands that we say we can't do, rather than care, animal care, spousal care, child care. And often we think of this word care, and we think when we hear the word child care, we think of what a mother does for her child. We often think of even like medical care. We think about the females that are providing the actual action of care and the actual motherly love. And I think in Buddhism we try to like embrace this idea of motherly love. When we talk about like Lama, the literal meaning of it and translation of it is like mother. And we look at our teachers not as father figures, but as mother figures, because they're the ones that deeply care for us. And I think that when we think about morality, we should reframe and restructure our thought patterns of what does that mean in terms of care. And I think this is a powerful word and a powerful way of rethinking morality is how do we apply it? How do we actually take action with it? How do we actually care for one another? How do we actually care for individuals? What are the actions we actually do and not just the things that we don't do? That's not to say that morality isn't important. It is important to refrain from doing harmful things. These are all very important things. But if it stops at morality, then we are absent of care. We are absent of what we are actually doing to show love and compassion. So I think that love and compassion comes from care and not necessarily just morality. Well, I hope everybody was able to hear my little mini rant there about care and morality. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. You can comment here, or you could always message me and ask me to explain further, or if you have questions or disagreements. I'd love to hear the disagreements about it. This topic actually came up because I had a conversation with Dr. Rebecca Gooley on morality, and she brought up this idea of care, and it was really intriguing, and it made me think more deeply about what I call morality and where it comes from. And I think these are really good things that we should be doing with our friends and family, is, you know, questioning our own ideas, questioning our own assumptions of how our worldview is. All right, so hopefully everything continues to work. We will recite the Animal Liberation Prayer now and the dedication of merit, and hopefully we'll be able to do our sanctuary tour and meet Casper today, and then we'll conclude with the credits. Yes, thank you, Neil. Care, just a little word and one to give thought to this week. It's true. Like sometimes care doesn't hold the weight and the volume and the impact as morality or ethics. When we talk about those things, it seems to hold a lot of weight. But realistically, just a small word, care, can mean so much and can have even more of an impact. We'll recite the Animal Liberation Prayer found on page 12, 13, and 14 of the Animal Liberation Temple Prayer Book. May all sentient beings, especially our dear animal friends who are subject to unbearable pain in labs throughout the world, be free of all suffering. May alternatives to animal experimentation, vivisection, and dissection be implemented immediately. May bodhicitta, the quality of compassion that leads to enlightenment, fill the hearts of those who imprison them. May all sentient beings, especially our dear animal friends who suffer endless days, months, and years, locked in tiny cages unable to move, be filled with peace and calm. May all sentient beings, especially our dear animal friends who are forcibly taken from their families, be reunited, and may all families be able to stay together. May the hearts of those who work in slaughterhouses, factory farms, and all industries that exploit our dear animal friends be filled with bodhicitta, so the very thought of harm is purified. May they never kill again, and may the slaughterhouse lines, factory farms, and all industries that exploit our dear animal friends become immediately empty. May no animal be afraid or depressed. May their bodies be free of injuries, disease, and illness. May the mutilation of their bodies be forever ceased. May those who need homes or have been driven from them find shelter, plentiful food, and water. May there be liberation for those tortured for fur, entertainment, or who are hunted. May those who believe that they are superior to our brother and sister animals develop perfect equanimity, and may they realize in their hearts that all sentient beings possess Buddha nature, the potential to be completely free of suffering, and that they are not ours to kill or exploit. May the billions of land and sea-dwelling sentient beings who are abused, exploited, and killed due to greed, hatred, and ignorance be free of suffering. May all the nets, hooks, blades, projectiles, traps, snares, cages, pens, tanks, lethal restraints, saddles, reins, prods, bait, poison, and all instruments used to harm, exploit, and dominate our dear animal friends be forever abolished. May all human and non-human sentient beings live together in harmony, peace, equanimity, and achieve perfect enlightenment quickly. May we all experience happiness, safety, freedom, and animal liberation in this very lifetime. We now recite the dedication of merit, page 16 and 17. Throughout our many lives and until this moment, whatever virtue we have accomplished, including this aspiration for peace, and all that we will ever attain, this we offer for the benefit of all sentient beings, especially our dear animal friends. May suffering, exploitation, and unnecessary death be decreased for every being, while wisdom, bliss, and compassion increase in this and every future life. May we clearly and instantly perceive the plight of our dear animal friends with the urgency and seriousness they deserve, and their every action leads them to complete liberation. May we quickly attain enlightenment and work ceaselessly for the liberation of all sentient beings. Okay, we will attempt to hopefully I changed the audio. The audio sounds a little bit different. It's because I did move it to the other camera. It seems like my other webcam is working correctly, so give this a try. Just one moment. Give me one brief second while I check on something. Okay, it looks like everything is good. Let's hope. Oh, I don't know if folks can see, but these are our two visiting duck friends who come and visit from every year for the last 4 years. Our two duck friends here come and visit this pond in the early spring, late winter. Okay. Here's Sparkles the duck over there. And here is Casper. And Casper is in here to finish his breakfast. Otherwise, he just kind of roams about. Hi, Casper. There he goes. We'll take some time to spend. I gotta pick up his food bowl because I don't want the chickens eating the goat food. Hi, Casper. You want to say hi to everybody? Are you interested in finishing up the chick food that was left? Yeah, I don't like him eating chicken food, but this is Gwen sitting here, probably laying an egg. And there goes Harriet. And here's Priya. Wanna come out, Priya? I am also picking up all the bowls because that's what we have to do in the morning. How's it going? Whoop, sorry. Did I bump your head? Casper's super wonderful. Sabrina and Alice and Glennis, and that is, of course, Sparkles comes running out. Well, Elton, and then Sparkles. Sorry, Sparkles came over here and wants to talk to everybody. Our guinea fowl Wendy, some of our duck friends, Magnus the rooster. There is Jax the rooster, Hard One back there. Yeah, everybody's doing really well. Sorry if the camera's shaky. I'm doing my best. I'll hold into everything, and we want to, you know, you're being a little shy here, Casper. You're a new resident, and I think everyone wants to meet you. As you can see, that's Priya. I'm so sorry that there was no sound, and hopefully people heard what I was saying. I'm really sorry about that. Hopefully people heard the credits. Uh, I've been lost video and audio for a couple minutes. Heard and saw most of the tour, though. That's good. I'm glad we got most of the tour in. I'm sorry that if we didn't get all of the credits in. I did. At least we saw the people's names. Thank you so much for everybody who donated. If you're able to donate to help with the extra care that is needed for Casper, that is greatly appreciated. But really, just liking and sharing our messages means so much to me. Maybe talking to your friends a little bit about ethics and morality and how that relates to care would be a beautiful thing that you can do for